Hello guys and welcome back to my channel. Today I will be giving you some recommendations on what to watch in this spooky season because of COVID I doubt many people will be able to actually go out on Halloween, and we like to do like some movie evenings with my husband, and like overall whole October we like to watch spooky movies. And these aren't necessarily all horror movies, but movies with a great vibe, movies with a great atmosphere. So just let's dive into the list. So first of all, one of our top favorites for the spooky season is series Buffy the Vampire Slayer, and we've been watching seasons 4, 5 and 6 each year, starting by the end of September and continuing throughout October. Like usually we can watch those 3 seasons like really fast. And if you haven't seen the show, I recommend you watching it from first season to the 7th season, which is the last season. And it's really fun show. It's good to watch, and it's not like a horror. It's just really fun show, and it has that great Halloween atmosphere. And I really like the take on witches they took in this series, so yeah, that's really awesome. We will be staying in a series department for a while, and another series I'm really loving and that in my opinion have great Halloween or spooky atmosphere is series Penny Dreadful. We watched this series like 1 year or 2 years ago, and it was really good. I don't know, it just gave that vibe, and it left a really good impression on me, and I definitely want to watch it again if I can manage. I would love to watch it this year, but yeah, we will see. Yeah, because we have a lot that we want to watch, but I will definitely try and watch it again because it was such a good series. And there were some episodes that really like stuck in my head that were really good, so I also recommend watching this series. And just to be clear, I mean the series where Eva Green stars, like the first series, because I heard now there is some second one, and I haven't heard such good things about the second one, but the first one is really good. And the last series I have is American Horror Story, and some seasons were better than other seasons, but overall it's a really good show, and my favorites were probably the first 3 series. But yeah, I also really liked Hotel, and I haven't watched the newest ones yet, but yeah, I definitely recommend for you to watch at least first 3 seasons because they are really good. The third one is about witches, so yeah, that's great, and the first one is just a standard like haunted murder house, but it's a really good series, I think. So now let's dive into the movies. And first movies that are like number 1 on my list are some Asian horror movies, because I don't like the stereotypical horror movies they usually present in US and in Europe, because they are not scary. I just find them weird and boring, and I just don't like most of the modern horror movies because they just feel cringy to me. But as for Asian ones, I can definitely recommend Shutter. There has been an American revamp or whatever you want to call it, but I recommend the Asian one better. I think it's a movie from Thailand. I'm not sure if I'm correct, but I think it's a movie from Thailand, and yeah, it's really good. Another Asian movies I would like to recommend are movies revolving around Ju-on and Grudge universe. And for this specific series, I would also recommend you the American Grudge, because it was really spooky, but I just prefer the atmosphere of the Asian ones. And also there has been a new series on Netflix called Ju-on Origins, and it wasn't necessarily like that creepy, but I really like the atmosphere. Like, the Asian movies don't have those annoying jump scares, but they have really good atmosphere. And still in this department, I would also like to recommend you to watch Ringu if you didn't There is also, of course, the movie The Ring, which is American, but I also prefer the Japanese version, I think. And yeah, it's basically more or less the same story, but I just prefer the Asian version. It was Japanese movie, and also Ju-on is Japanese movie, and yeah, I find it a lot better in my opinion. And other movies I would like to recommend are movies based on books by Stephen King, especially It. I really liked the new It movies, first and second part. And yeah, it was a bit different than the book was, but I still really loved that movies. Another one I found really good was Doctor Sleep. We also went to the cinema for this movie and it was also a really good movie. As for Shining, I really like Shining, but it's more because of atmosphere and like the performances of the actors, because like those were really good. Yeah, but like the movie storyline isn't that good, but I still really like it because of the atmosphere and the actors' performances. But yeah, it's definitely worth to watch. I mean, we watched it last year and it was kind of fun. Another one is one of probably my top favorites, and I actually watched this movie as a kid and I didn't understand shit of it because like it's kind of hard movie, but I watched it again a few years ago and it became instantly one of my favorites, and the movie is Devil's Advocate. And it's really good movie, really dark and really fitting for this season. It's not necessarily a horror movie, but it's a really good movie. If you haven't seen it, or if you haven't seen it in a while, definitely watch it because it's one of my absolute top favorites. It's a really good movie and all like the actors' performances are really good. There are such good actors there. And speaking about movies with Keanu Reeves in it, I also like Constantine, where he played. And yet again, like it's kind of dark movie and it's not necessarily a horror, but it's really easy to watch and it's really fun movie. Another movie I would like to mention here is Conjuring, but to be honest, only the first one, because like the first one was really well made and really spooky, and as for the other ones I just found them a little bit cringy and I didn't really like them much, but the first one was really well made. It was actually really spooky and I'm sure you probably seen this movie, but I still would like to mention it because it's a really good horror film in my opinion. And the last movie I have here is also suitable for younger viewers in my opinion, and it's the movie Sleepy Hollow with Johnny Depp, and it's a really good atmospheric movie. And yeah, it's not necessarily a horror movie, but still it's a really great watch for this season. And in general, like Tim Burton movies are good for this time of the year. I'm a bit bored of them because I've been watching them a lot when I was younger, but this is the one that is still worth to watch on Halloween season. And speaking of younger viewers, there is also great animated movie for if you also have kids maybe, and I still like to play it myself, like just as a background when I'm doing something or when I'm crocheting. Like it's a really fun kids movie, and it's the movie Monster House, I think it was called in English. And yeah, it's a really good kids movie, and of course it's a kids movie, so it's not that scary for the kids, but still it carries great Halloween atmosphere. So that was my recommendation list. If you have any other movies you would like to recommend to my viewers, put them down below, because there are honestly so many good spooky movies and I couldn't possibly mention them all or come up with all of them when I made this list. But feel free to put them down below and maybe tell me in the comments how will you be spending your Samhain or Halloween, depends on what you're celebrating. And hopefully I will see you in my next video very soon. Bye bye!